here's the regular melody. It goes like this. Pretty straightforward. Generally, the first thing that I tell people to do to make melodies sound more interesting is to give them a little more of a swing. So instead of playing it really metronomically, trying to push it more like you would if you were dancing. And that's all in the right hand. That's all just being able to do really minute movements. That's your fingertips as a point of articulation for the pick. You know, you're not moving your whole arm more. You're just kind of pushing a little bit harder with the pick or letting there be less resistance. So if this is the melody, how can we make that a little more interesting? Well, for one thing, we can do, this is a fiddle tune, so one thing we can steal is we can make this line, I know this looks a lot more complicated, but it really isn't, but we can make this line be a little more interesting. That's the same, it's the same thing as this. So this was, or no, it's the same thing as this rather. So this is, and this is, and this program thinks that this fingering isn't possible, but it is. You should, it take a little bit of work to get that, but that should be, well, so what's happening is it's all the same up until here. And then instead of just playing the open A note, we should be using our middle finger to play this F sharp, and we're gonna hammer on with our pinky to this A note. And that's what it should sound like. And then we're just keeping our pinky down for all of this. Our pinky just stays down and never comes up. And we are just picking through, this is the same top line. So the only thing that's different is that we're keeping our pinky down and we're pulling through two strings after we hammer on. So it's, so then that brings us to the next little thing we can do. So we're just adding a little double stop here instead of just having the regular. We're gonna just play this open A a little bit too. Give it a little bit of double stop. And then, so the next bit, so the original next bit goes, oh, you can still see it. That's good, actually. You know, I'll just do this so we can actually see all of it together. So we're here now. This is the same as here. So the original is, and this, what we're doing is we're doing another drone. So we're sliding from, we're sliding into the 7th fret and playing the open top string with it. So that's, we're playing the this D note and this E note together, and then sliding with our sliding that D note up to an E note, and that gives it just a little bit more of a flow, I feel like. It's just a little more interesting. And so then I also took out, even the melody here is, because we're doing this drone, I kind of want to let that ring a little bit more, and so instead we're going. That just kind of gives it a little more rhythmic interest, having this offbeat thing. And then the last bit here, we have two little things. The first thing, this is a little bit of a knack. This is a really quick pull off. I know there's a name for this, but I couldn't remember it. Like a grace note kind of thing, or a trill, I guess. So the timing of it it's not a triplet. It's not a, we're not, if it was a triplet, it would look like this. Or more or less. And that's not what we're doing. We're, what this is supposed to sound like. So you're pulling off really quick, like right after the pick hits the string. And I debated about whether or not keeping that in there. It's kind of, that one's a lot more difficult than the other things. It'll take a little bit of practice. So then the last bit is just another slur slide from the G sharp into the A. So our original melody just by adding some hammer-ons and some slides and some pull-offs and mostly just drones, we can make it a lot more interesting. I should have mentioned at the beginning that this is kind of more for people trying to go from an intermediate level of playing to an advanced level of playing. I'm not suggesting that this is particularly easy stuff to add, but a lot of classes that I teach, there's a lot of people who have been working on tunes for a long time and are trying to add more interest and more sort of musicality to their playing, and they've kind of plateaued at an intermediate level and are looking for what kind of takes something to the next level. And it's really just these pretty small things. They're not necessarily particularly easy, but they're not very big things. You know, we didn't change the melody at all, really. I mean, I guess I took one note out, but other than that, all of the melody notes are here, and we're just playing a little bit with a little bit more interest and a little bit more rhythm. So taking it from to so that's just a little that's just what that's like. Oh, look, there's all the things. Okay, so I'm gonna end the video now. Thanks for watching.